Welcome to Journey Through the Eyes, EMDR podcast. This is the podcast that is here to unveil and explore the transformative power of EMDR. Our mission is to support both new and seasoned clinicians with those critical conversations and the resources about EMDR, doing therapy and growing your private practice business. I am one of your hosts. I'm Tamera J. Brown, licensed professional counselor with Arise Psychotherapy and Coaching Services here in San Antonio, Texas. And I want to introduce my co-host, my sister friend, Miss Kathy Couch.
I am Kathy. They tell me to say Kathy on the couch for marketing. I'm Kathy Couch. I'm out here in Idaho, and Tamira and I are happy to join you on Journey Through the Eyes.
Yes, I am so excited. So excited to be here today to have this wonderful and delicious conversation today that we're going to be sharing with our audience on discovering our niche, Kathy. Such an exciting topic that we have on the table for today.
Yeah. So I kind of started my EMDR consulting practice and business, and I really didn't have any guidance on how to create a brand or a business. So I began taking some classes to write a business plan. And then I thought, well, maybe I need to do marketing too. And I really enjoyed the marketing component because it just gave us some simple strategies to be able to market ourselves. My instructor always said, you've been marketing yourself ever since you graduated as a therapist, with
Mm,
your niche and what do you specialize in. And so when you think about it, you think about a target market. You get out of college and you have this undifferentiated target market, which is just mass marketing. I'll serve everyone, doesn't focus on a specific client population. Instead, it takes a broad approach. And I
mhm,
think that's where I started. I know maybe you started there too, trying to figure out who am I as a therapist. And
mhm.
it's typically as we begin to form an identity, right? And
Yes.
then we kind of go in and we develop, we scale it down. So we get out of the large scale, and instead of targeting a broad audience or population, we develop some specialties. So what I tell consultants that I work with, they're like, I don't know what I do. I said, go to your resume, figure
Mhm,
out what trainings you've done.
mhm, mhm.
And so I think as EMDR therapists, we're thinking like, what is my niche? All the time doing Gottman interventions or domestic violence or DBT interventions. And I think EMDR in itself is a niche, right? And when we begin to brand ourselves as consultants, people say, how am I going to find my tribe? And Tamir, you're really great at this. Build it and they will come, law of attraction. And we really want to create a narrowly defined market and not get into that scarcity of like, well, so and so is doing this. You are the brand, right?
Yes. You know what, Kathy, as always, you come from such a brilliant perspective in helping, us as clinicians get our start, right? And I love the conversation you're talking about it, that journey we go through and coming out of college and, our brains are still trying to adjust and digest all of the information. And I think one of the things that you said, which is so critical, I'll just reframe it in a different way, is taking the time to slow down and do some real introspection, right? To take a look at, as you're doing the work, what are the people, what are the issues you love
Yes.
to study or help people with? And I think that that's just a sweet spot there, right? Trying to discover who you are as a new or sometimes even seasoned therapist. It really is taking that journey, as you said, back to yourself. I know that we're going to school and we're doing all the things and we're externally focused and trying to learn all this stuff. But I think that this is a great space to remind us, that really the journey, the brand, the therapy, and all the things that we are becoming and journeying into, it really begins with us, with the clinician, and who we believe we are becoming, and who or what are those things we are passionate about. And Kathy, I think it's interesting. I don't know how you feel about this, but I know that for me on my journey, trying to become a competent, ethical
Yeah.
professional, and we forget, I forgot to stay connected to my passion and why I wanted to become a therapist. And I think that whole spiritual principle, law of attraction, and everything you just mentioned is so closely tied to the passion and that desire that's in the heart
Yeah.
of the clinician. Yeah.
There's an author named Simon Sinek. He says start with why. And he describes the Wright brothers developing the flight. And there was a competitor that had the government backing, and he had all of these this funding to be able to create the airplane. And his why was so he could be famous and he could have the face of the aeronautic industry. And then the Wright brothers came along and they just did it because they loved it. You know, on the day that they took flight, he quit. He quit doing that with all of his resources because he couldn't handle it. This is secondary from Simon Sinek. And he could have partnered with them and created something so powerful, right? Just like Tamera and I, we could do this on our own, but we love being together. We love laughing, you know, and that's what we want to bring together is that culture, that brand, that connection, right? And so starting with why, the Wright brothers started with why. They loved building airplanes. They loved helping people, you know, take flight. And the why over here was I'm self-motivated and self-interested, and people can sense it. So what I'm encouraging therapists to do is start with why. Start with why do we do what we do? And if someone is to come to me and say, what do you do? I'm a DBT therapist. I like CBT, ego state, and EMDR versus why do you do it? I love helping people transform their lives and businesses into practices that can be with them for a lifetime. Which one feels better?
Right. And, you know, and if we can lean into that a little bit more, and I think that what you just handed and offered us is, you know, the balance between what we do and who we be.
Yeah.
Who we are desiring to be in the field of mental
Yeah.
health, you know. And I think that because the world we live in and the culture and the society and, you know, mental health and becoming a therapist and a licensed professional counselor and all the things is a really big deal. The society we live in has kind of put us in a corner in the closet. It's almost like we are one of the best kept secrets for society and community, and they've needed us the whole time. But their views of us, I think, has weighed on us to where we lost sense of our value and our significance in the world and in the culture. And we get caught in these are the things we need to do. Okay, this is what, you know, is expected of me as a professional. I need to do this. I need to be, but the real heart of the matter is who are you becoming as a therapist? And
I just had that conversation today with a clinician. You know, she was trying to get these requirements to become certified or a consultant. She's like, I need to do this. I said, whoa, how do you want to feel getting to this goal? Who do you want to be? How do you want to serve them? Just take a minute.
that's it.
Yeah, we get in that rush, right? I want to, and I've been there, I've done it, I still do it. But we want to get to that essence, right? The core. Once you get to that and you emanate that, you'll draw those people, right? That get the depth.
It just becomes more organic and just, you know, I remember when I was in my journey and my supervisor at the time when I was still an intern, she kept talking to me about identifying my counselor's identity. She would always tell me, she said, I can't tell you who you are. She said, you have to discover that. And the way that we can do that is, again, just like this nugget you are handing us today, begin with your personal why. Don't think about your clients. Okay. It's not about your clients. That's an external view that can come in a minute. But what it has to begin with is when you wake up in the morning and you have to step into your therapy shoes, who is that therapist? Who do you want that there? Who are you becoming? We know that we're not there yet, right? But we welcome the journey because it is the journey for us as we're growing and as we're evolving. But we have to do the work of why. And I avoided that work. Oh man, Because I'm the type that, and I blame it on my brain, the way my brain is, the tedious things, right? I don't enjoy doing. But then once I finally hit a place because I got tired of struggling and being in that state of doing, and it was leading me to cause me to feel like I was failing and I was good at. And the minute I started, whether we do it in the morning or in the evening, or maybe when you do your coffee break, take the time to figure out why are you here in the field and
And
be there.
you find it. It's sort of like when I found EMDR, like I knew these narrative therapies and this talk therapy. There was a felt sense that something didn't fit and I couldn't figure it out. And then I went to EMDR training. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. And kind of what you were saying about the culture and the community, they don't understand. I hear it so often. If EMDR is so great, then why hasn't it been on the forefront? You're beginning to hear it. We've had some people, Prince Harry and other people have engaged in this modality to promote it. And it's becoming more well known. And I think the more that we talk about it, it becomes part of us. I say EMDR is not a therapy, it's a mission.
Yes, and I that resonates with me as well. And I mean, EMDR has changed my life, has changed the way that I serve. Because for me, when we talk about the niche, right, in discovering the why, and it didn't really start manifesting for me until this year. Matter of fact, if I'm completely transparent and honest, when I came to my first rewired the huddle that you were offering when we first met, and I remembered that in that class you were just asking us about our goals and everything, and there was an experience I had in that where you helped me to resource some things, and it woke up, oh man, my personal passion and why I became a therapist was because of my own journey as a woman who was living
Yeah.
unaddressed mental health challenges. And I've noticed along my journey, I've worked with men in the criminal justice system as a licensed chemical dependency counselor. And I like to use this term. I play well with adults. I can play well with even serving men. But then when I got to the women's facility, that was a love. That was a grace. That was a delight. There were challenges, and because people used to say, I don't like working. And I was like, okay, I hadn't done it, but I went and did it. And I found an affinity in my own soul for us as women. I
Yeah.
get us. One of the things I like to say to my, people that I get to talk to and things like that, and sometimes even clients, I will say, I'm not my sister's keeper. I am my sister. So in my practice, serving women and helping women to nurture and cultivate their mental and emotional well-being is at the heart of everything that I do. But it took me a while to get there, to lean into why. Well, I was aware of the troubles, the pains, the challenges, what it was like when I didn't have the help and support. And now that has become my mission in EMDR, has leveled up that mission and my confidence in that mission, because what we do is just, you know, when you witness the light come on in somebody's being,
Yeah. And the being.
right? It just, EMDR gives us, I know that it does wonders for the clients we serve, but those of us who are taking the learning curve and riding that wave in EMDR, it's such a divine experience.
I was thinking sacred mission, but yeah, it's a sacred.
That's
It's
my language, girl. That's what I tell my clients. It's a sacred mission. Yeah, you speaking to me now. Yeah, healing.
we know we're aligned.
Yeah.
It's sacred. When you see that and you're a witness and you're a part of it, that's your niche and it moves you. It's like, oh, this is, and it takes time. It takes time with sitting and trying the hat on and seeing if it fits and trying the clothes on and oh, she's wearing that. We will do some comparing, but the main question, the main thought I would encourage the listeners to say is, who are you and what fills you up? And if you don't know, do what we do with our clients. How do you feel in your body and your emotion right after every session? Just that quick second, evaluate it. Am I full? Okay, that was fun. I enjoyed that, right? And it's like, okay, I'm on to something here, but that takes some experience, and there's nothing wrong with it taking some time for new clinicians.
Mhm.
Uh, but once you feel the light and the vibrancy, it's like, oh, that's our niche.
Yeah, I loved what you just said. And I want to just take a moment for us, right, in this beautiful and delicious conversation we've had today, to remind us that our journey in this field is a journey, it's not a destination. We're not trying to arrive. And if we are carrying that, I need to arrive at this certain place or I need to get here, then that energy is going to interfere with who we can evolve into becoming and the beautiful things we can create. And if we can just take the pause into, you know, slow the brain down and just like you said, practice what we teach our clients. Choose not to be a castaway. A castaway is somebody who can give it to others, but they will not return that gift to themselves. And we are not castaways in our field. We deserve the same good, the same healing, the same introspection, the same light and awareness that we give our clients. And we can serve that to ourselves if we're only willing to take time, you know, and just remembering that we're here, you're on a journey, we're on a journey. And we don't have to rush and push and do all the things. We
I call it
can.
frenetic energy. I've had it. I need to, and we'll get there if. And it's process of mindfulness and figuring out how we can just be in the experience with each other, right?
Yes. Yes.
So check out that Simon Sinek video. There's another link to another video on my blog at Rewired 360 as well. You can take a look at that blog and the YouTube channel with another video about the niche. But I think it's just so important that we offer people resources and ways, to be powerful people.
Yeah. Because we are, you know. And I just want to celebrate us as clinicians, celebrate our journey. You know, I think a lot of times we're so busy minded and busy brain, we don't own the hard work we've had to put into becoming licensed clinicians. And it's a journey and a study of human behavior and the mind body realm. As a therapist, that's our terrain, that's our field, that's our lane, and we get to own that, and we get to take time to look at the hard work, all the effort, all the investments we've made. And I just want to remind us, as we're discovering our niche, to don't lose sight of that, don't forget that. And so, what a delicious, delightful conversation we've had today. Cat
Yes.
on the couch.
I know, isn't that funny? Yes, thank you. And just encouraging everyone to just take a moment and breathe and just let it marinate, right?
Yes, I love it. I love it. And so, that is why we're here, friend. We're here to inspire, to inform, to encourage, and ignite that spark, right? For both the seasoned and new and seasoned clinicians who are on this amazing journey. And so, friend, I want to give you the mic and you take us on out of here.
Just remember to honor gratitude for your teachers. I honor Tamera and all of her journey, giving it away to your people that are with you is very important. So I challenge you between this podcast and next to just give that away. And we've got you. We get you. We've got you. You have a place to land. And we're so excited to be launching this new venture together with Tamera. These conversations are so fun and critical, and we have fun doing it. So thank you.
Yes. Yes. And so we thank you all for joining us. Please, please be sure you check us out. Make sure you visit the links, take time to subscribe to the podcast. Come and join the Rewired 360 community. And Kathy, tell them where they can go to get a part of this good stuff you got going on and we got going on.
Oh, yeah, I have. So it's been a journey, but we have free peer huddle. We have a free business brainstorm. We have a way for you to become certified in EMDR and become an approved consultant in a curriculum and university format. And next year, we're going to have a ton of advanced trainings. I have an on-demand training right now for grief and loss, but there'll be more to come. So make sure and subscribe to my mailing list. And this month, there are some promotions coming up. I know we may not get this published in December, but keep checking back for those promotions.
We love you and we love you, Kathy. We love everything that you're doing. And folks, audience, we are here just to tell you thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to share this broadcast with someone that you feel can benefit from it. And so until next time, let us continue our journey through the eyes and have an amazing, amazing day.
Take care, friends.
Bye-bye.